Same thing happening. It's a whole new way it's starting up. I've got no idea whether this is live yet, or even when it starts to go live. But here we are. We're back again. And I can't see anything on the screen. I know I'm broadcasting. It says I'm broadcasting. Uh, where the fuck it's broadcasting, I've no idea. Such is life. Uh, Let me do a refresh of that screen. It's almost like it's a completely different. YouTube live. Come on. Where's the stream? Where's the stream? Where's the stream? Oh, I can't win, can you? Well, there we go. It says it's waiting for me, but I know I'm streaming. There's something happening.
I found it.
You found it, yeah. It's supposedly there, but it's just whatever Streamlabs is doing that is making life harder for us. That's all.
Starts a whole new instance.
Yeah, it starts a whole new instance. So like I'm on the broadcasting page, right? So view on watch page. Now when I go there, it's basically still waiting for me. So how do I get my own picture of my own stream up? Freaking annoying.
I actually had to exit out and go back to your channel.
Yeah, this is the thing. It's bizarre. What the hell they're doing? Anyway, give me a minute to try to get this thing so that I can't even see myself on there. View on. So I've got to go to there. So there's a live now, right? So it says it's there. It says it's starting, but clicking on that and yeah, well there I am. It's there. It's okay. So it's got to actually. It's given me a different stream number. Yeah, it's not using the live page. This is where the interface is all broken. Anyway, so we are here. We've got 4 people watching and 5 people watching. And of course, this is the thing. See, all the information that I've coded in the stream is all just disappeared now. It's just not there. And again, I can go on info and settings. Hopefully I'll get this sort of fixed up. So there's the event and it's now running. Right, it's public. Are all my settings the same? So again, see all the settings are wrong. Should be set for low latency, but I've got no idea whether that's working or not. We've got live chat enabled, at least that's the main thing. We've got the standard licensing, which is the name. It hasn't got the captioning. This content's never aired on US television. Right. It's all broken, which is quite annoying. Anyway, again, I don't know what the stream optimization is looking like. Save changes. Right, and I got to go back to my channel again. Leave that. Oh well, give us 5 seconds to get it all happening, or get from another 2 minutes at least. Well, we've lost 5 minutes in the stream already. It's freaking bizarre. Anyway, we are here, and I have no idea how far we're delayed. So 1, 2, 3. So it's at least a count of 30 delay. George, good afternoon. So I have no idea what's going on. I have to sort of put a support call into Streamlabs and find out what the hell's going on there. Because it's obviously something to do with the new way that they're doing the live control room, and we're just going to wait for Streamlabs to catch up. Anyway, so we've got a fairly lengthy delay on the actual stream, which is a bit of a pain in the arse, of course. But such is life. We can't do much about changing that. It's the way it's going to be. Travelling Man, backdrop is sweet. Yeah, well, that's Chong Nong Si, the interchange there between the MRT and the bus service that goes out along Saton there. I liked that picture when I first saw it. That's why I grabbed it. Anyway, what I need to do now is I need to minimise that and pop out the chat. So I've got that over there, so I can look directly under the camera. Oh my God! What a fiasco! I'm going to check out a few of these knowledge bases and find out what they're doing. There must be something I need to do to get everything all sorted out. But until then, we just have to put up with the bullshit. Hopefully something will come right in due course. Anyway, so today we've got Richard with us and we've got Oggy with us. Say hello, Oggy. Say hello, Richard. And there's Stephen coming in, joining the wrong channel. Anyway, Stephen's just joined us there. G'day, Stephen.
Hello, how are you?
And he's got it.
Stephen, good morning, Thailand.
Just turn your audio off the stream. Yeah, we're running about maybe sort of anything up to 20 seconds delay on the channel right now, as opposed to.
You already started, have you?
Yeah, it's just one of these sort of things. Unfortunately, the stream starts, but it's the interface between Streamlabs and YouTube is broken. Right, it's working, but it's broken. Right, it's not broadcasting on what they call the direct live channel. Right, which is what it used to do. It's now actually straight creating a new instance, right, which is then coded with a live stream with a standard watch page, which is a bit of a pain in the ass. This is something new we have to deal with. That's all. I'm posting.
Right, I'll just and we're on.
Yeah, we are on.
Starts, but it's in the interface between Streamlabs and YouTube is broken right now, but it's working.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's all right. Don't worry about it.
Well,
we're here. So we go.
I've got sound. It's not.
Yeah, we got the sound
not exactly
here.
in sync, but it'll do.
No, the sound will never be in sync because we've got this broadcasting from here rather than from YouTube. Okay, so George, have a great day yourself. Yes. I can these names. Ahmad, Ashram. Hey buddy, how you doing? Ahmed, Stephen Monash. Hello. Yes, there you go. Right. Well, anyway, let's get the show on the road as we usually do. We'll do a quick review while people join us. And yes, we got Jim Andrews is broadcasting at the moment. We got Eyes of a Thai broadcasting at the moment, and we got me broadcasting. So. But you can't do much about it. You have a scheduled screen and people to jump on it. That's what happens. TJ, good afternoon. William Poole, good morning to you as well. Okay. Well, Warren Gertie's is streaming right now. So there is there's his stream running. The video today is just a casual Wednesday afternoon. That was last week. We went out to
William, hi Crispy.
Yeah, we went out to a bedding store. They do this sale once a year, and basically what I'm talking about there is the fact that as a foreigner you'll never know about these cut price stores and warehouse stores unless of course you're actually with a Thai national who actually keeps track of all that sort of stuff, because we just don't see those advertisements. Is a bit of a pain in the ass. We saw
that video; it's quite good.
Yeah, we don't get to partake in the typical Thainess of being Thai because we just don't know what's going on the planet. That's in the country. We tend to pay wrong prices. We tend to pay supermarket prices and the prices that we're used to because we don't know where to go looking. The big W, too many live streams going on at the moment. Yeah, again, you make a schedule. What can you do? Either they're running over time, or they're doing it to annoy you. I don't know. It's just,
I don't think those two make much sense.
It's one of those sort of things. I don't believe they're doing it to annoy me. They're just not thinking about the fact that if you want to engage an audience and have an engaged audience, you need to have a schedule. That's all the rules that YouTube tell you about it. If you don't publish on a schedule, then you're only picking up randoms. People are now getting used to Monday afternoon at 5 o'clock here for me, and Saturday morning, so we get a pretty good following, and we get our regulars coming in. They just know when to join.
It's a Thai thing. You open up a 7-Eleven, they open up one next door.
That's it. It's so exactly. It is so Thai. Anyway, so there was that one. We had our live stream, and of course, Locatron from last week. Of course, Nid, she's doing her live streams, but she just randomly does live streams. There was one she's doing now. She's one 2 hours ago, one 6 days ago. She just does.
Really?
She just does it when she feels like she wants to do a live stream. She hasn't even thought about it. She's got.
If I was sitting out on a hot farm out there, bloody pulling rice out, I think I'd do it any time.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she would. You can't really deny her. She's probably bored shitless.
I just got to go somewhere, guys. Take over with
you. And Jim, again, there he is. He's got 26 people watching there. He's down in Vietnam. Might be actually an interesting video. Don't know how long he's been running for. Probably about an hour or so. Anyway, moving along. If you want to go and check those, look, I'm not stopping you to go and check out what's going on. That might be an interesting video. I'm going to just do what I usually do and have a bit of fun here and talk a bit about the news, talk about the channels, talk about what's going on. Maggie, she had a live stream.
I'm going to watch 3 all the time.
Yeah, so Maggie's live stream was taken over by Phi last night. You enjoyed that one, didn't you, Stephen?
Yeah, it was a good show.
Yeah, I only joined it for 5 minutes. I had something else I was doing. So.
Oh, it's very funny. She's very funny.
Yeah. Again,
stop smiling.
If she did her actual videos, I'd watch more of her videos as well if she did them in English rather than Thai. But again, that's her audience, so she can't really do that. That's the popular uploads. Looks like she's changed the format.
TJ said, "I just told Nid to stop."
Don't do that. We don't want to upset Nid.
Don't upset good Nid.
don't upset Nid. She's a darling. Leave her alone. Yeah, so I'd watch more of Phi's videos as well if they were done in English, but she's particularly talking to a Thai audience, which makes it a bit hard for me. And again, she's not doing any sort of subtitling in English, so it's a bit of a difficult one to do.
Maggie's here. Maggie's journey.
Maggie, how you doing?
Kun Maggie.
Kun Maggie, yeah.
But is it Maggie or is it Phi?
No. I don't think Phi's given Maggie a channel. I think that's Maggie. Blue Zinc's also there.
The Thai thing, she just ships it out to whoever she wants. So can you do it tonight? I'm sick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm going to just bring up my links in case people want to join. Where's my document?
Sarah should be supporting you too. She should be on here.
I was just speaking to her before we started, and she didn't sleep well last night. She's burning the candle at both ends. You know how it goes. Anyway, so let's throw up some links if you want to come on.
Hi everyone. Phi's trying to do English sub, whatever that is.
Yeah, that's right. It's a very long process to look. It takes you like probably 20 minutes to do 5 minutes of subtitling in English. Because you've got to do the conversion and get all get the timings. Oh, it's an absolute nightmare thing.
Mr. Mitch.
Yeah, so if you want to join us, on the Discord, just click that link there. Who also we got? Mr. Mitch, yes. Control V.
All the links today, Warren.
That's all right. I'll put them all up. So there's my website. If you don't know what the website is, my Patreon channel. There is all gratuitous plugs. Stephen says I should title it "Buy Warren a Beer," but that sounds a bit third party, and it's me putting links. Shout me a beer, yes. And one more, and there we go. There's the subscribe now button if you haven't already subscribed, and of course, let's just not like the gratuitous plug there. We are a monetized channel. We do have the super chat. You can always hit that little $sign and hit that up as well if you want. It helps me notice any particular question that you might throw up there, because I don't pay much attention to what's on the stream while I'm trying to do the review. Anyway, so
super chats get priority.
Yeah, super chats get priority.
Money talks.
Money talks. Anyway, so
We just lost everybody.
we just lost our audience. I'll probably just gained a whole bunch of trolls. Anyway, so what was Chuck doing? Saying goodbye. Say goodbye to Nakhon Pathom. He was out west of where we live here. I haven't checked that video out yet, but I'll go and check that one later. David Daly, he's down in, doing a video from his Cambodia trip. Bangkok travel. Sunday chat. He's always too late for me to even watch that one. I did catch 5 minutes of his... What was that, Augie?
Do you realize you're in the middle of the screen still?
Oh, I'm in the thanks. JJ told you to tell me about that because I'm terrible at that stuff. Because I'm not watching that screen at all. I'm watching what I'm doing over here on this screen. I'm watching my chat, and I'm really not paying attention to what's to all the other.
That's why I was telling you.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Such is life. Anyway, so get my mug out of the way. So then we got Bangkok travel. I did catch 5 minutes of his sports chat, but I'm not a big sporting fan. So, Foreigner Joe, Phuket Walking Street, Kamala Beach. That was from yesterday's upload. Direction Bangkok. Andy Stubbs, good afternoon.
Yes, Andy Stubbs in the house.
Andy Stubbs in the house. Where are you at the moment these days, Andy? Are you still travelling or are you back home working for the man? My favourite condo development yet. I saw this. This is an advertisement I sort of saw. Looks like he's done a review on this new condo development that I've seen the ads for popping up every so in my Facebook stream.
Yeah, I think he's looking at buying a place.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So it might be worth checking out that condo development. I did briefly look at it. I think they were starting at 6 million. I thought for 6 million for like 26 square metres. I'm going, really?
6 million, that's 180,000 Australian.
Yeah, for 26 square metres, I think that was the one bedroom. That was the starting price. Not on history, and that's what I remember checking out the pricing of this particular condo. I just remember the picture that he's got on this in the shot there. And I'm going, that's seriously. Can you, if it's a room and that's what you're looking for, and you don't really spend much time in your room apart from sleeping, I guess it suits some people. But quite frankly, the bedroom here I think is 18 square metres, and that's just got a bed in it. It's got my computer stuff, but we've got the rest of the house. Don B, good afternoon.
Hello, Don B.
So Andy says he's back in Thailand in February. Good. Hopefully we'll catch up then. By the way, if you were planning to join into the meet up tomorrow night, we're putting it off a week because we're out tomorrow. We got the hairdressing school that Chanya went to. She's been invited along to their annual outing. So, as I was saying to Oggy before we started, we've got 8 girls and 2 guys going. Yeah, special club. Anyway, so there will be a video or two about that, and there'll be lots of bikinis in the pool party and everything else. So keep an eye out for that one. But unfortunately, I can't be in 2 places at once. We're down in Cha Am, so I might Wednesday we might pop in to see Rob Horhin, up there. He's just around the corner from where we actually staying. So we'll pop in to say hello there. Hopefully on Wednesday on our way out. But I'll make sure I square that up before I go. We meant to get down there, but just to catch up with Rob and sort of see how the house is going should be fun. Probably add that as a video to do for the Wednesday. That's these condos. I couldn't believe how small they are. They are really, really quite small. Down about Thailand. Quick. What have we got? Prestigious event in presence of King Rama X in Bangkok. I think he was talking about the Pope's visit. I think he was invited. That he had a special seats or something like that. I could be wrong, but I think that's what he was talking about. Do More Life. What do we got here? Rick Ware, TJ goes to Patiodrana, Ned's old flame. Okay. What's it like to have the Thanksgiving holiday in Thailand? Yeah, well, that's a good question. I don't think Thai really understand the whole Thanksgiving concept, but because Thailand is fairly heavily influenced by what we have in America, any reason for a party is a good reason to have a party. I've got some beeping going on my Facebook for some reason. What's that all about? Cody, hey, I'm in Bangkok until the 29th. If you'd like to meet up, yeah. Where have we got? We're live now. Join, JOIN in. David, is there a meetup down under? No. I'll be. Sorry for the interview. Be in Cham. Okay, sorting that stuff out. Minimise that. So many things going on, and I haven't taken my watch off to keep an eye on the time. Oh, these Monday afternoons. I don't know. Maybe I could just give it going. I'm better prepared on a Saturday morning, I think. But yeah, there is a Thanksgiving party through the meetup group. I think it's pretty much all booked up now. I think the bookings for that were last Saturday. But we got out to the meetup group. I think like 35 people going to that. Unfortunately, I'm not going. Thanksgiving's not really an Australian thing; it's an American thing. So it has no context in my life, apart from the fact that hang out with some great people. But I got some other things planned for next Saturday, so it was just a double booking event. What else have we got? Scrolling down, Talkback Thailand. Again, his live streams are Saturday and Sunday. They're a regular event. Don't forget to tune into those. Thai with Sarah. She's had an interesting video there, small talk in Thai. I like her small talks because it's one of the things, when you start to do your Thai lessons, you'll get all these people doing Thai by the book, right? Hello, how are you? It's a nice day. Glad to meet you. Blah blah blah. And they give you all the basic things, which, quite frankly, you hardly ever use on a daily basis. And when you the small talk is just the stuff that you really need to get your head around. The way conversation flows from a perspective of a Thai. And that's what I think she does best. These small talk videos. You've got to check that sort of stuff out. I do like them. Ian Welldale, Mekong River. I think that one came out just after our last Mekong River. Chung Sian is doing a sort of some aerial footage around there. Robert Mack in Asia. He's what's that? Pattaya Night, Thailand Pattaya Nightlife. Robert Mack, are you back here? I didn't think he wasn't back. It's not back here till next month, isn't he? Maybe there's old footage.
I thought he was in Vietnam.
Yeah, I know, but maybe some old footage that he had, or preparing his footage. I'm sure. There he is. Hello, Ryan, everybody. There he is. We're just asking questions about you back in Thailand. Just wait for the reply on that one. Anyway, he's got a Pattaya Nightlife. Check that one out. Looks like he put that up yesterday.
But Mac doesn't need a remote when he does the drone footage. He just stands here and holds it up.
He on a selfie stick, yeah.
Just with his arms. Just holds it up, walks around.
Oh, to get the real drone, he puts a 5-foot selfie stick even higher.
He's just holding his camera. I reckon your arm, the span of your arm width is the same height as you. So he's 6'9".
Mm-hmm.
So one arm would almost be 3.5 feet. No. So what's he now? He's 9 and he's almost. He's up around 12 feet when he puts his arms.
Yeah, 40 inches, but then he got to take the first top off. Yeah.
It's a
BK, Billy, any plans to visit other countries, or have you been to the Philippines? I've at this point in time, I've got no plans to go to other countries. I'm still getting used to Thailand, and basically I haven't even been anywhere near all the visiting places in Thailand yet, let alone other countries. And again, Chanya works. I'm not really going to sort of jump on a plane and not go somewhere without her. Getting 2 days off. Tomorrow and Wednesday. Wednesday's her normal day off. So tomorrow she's taking tomorrow off from the salon. So she's taking a salon day off to go away.
Did you do another bus ride?
Hmm?
Do another bus ride?
Did I do another bus ride?
Yeah, you were going somewhere.
Oh, I didn't film it. No, I didn't film it. It's all right. I went to the. We did.
No.
I'm waiting for you to get here. Okay, when you get here, I've got your accommodation just down the road. I says, Puttamonton. I showed the street view. Puttamonton, Sai Sam. Right, that little hotel.
I'm not getting on those clap traps.
No, but it's they're what they call Thai apartments. They're 26 square meters and 4,000 baht a month. Right, so it's just it's only two bus stops down from where my place. So I get on the bus, jump down 2 stops, then wait for you there, or you can catch the same bus as I'm. I just say I'm on the 84 Goi. What's it 84? What's the first letter in the Thai alphabet? Gorgai. So 84 Gorgai. Right, so I'm just to say I'm on 84 Gorgai, or I'm on 80, or I'm 81. Get out your via bus app. I'm on my way out. I'm on that bus. Meet me at the bus stop.
I just see myself getting out the via bloody app.
I don't know. Well, I don't even know if that app will run on your phone. But it's one of those sort of things.
I don't think my phone will turn on.
You need to practice. You need to get this stuff out. Robert. Okay, yeah. Hello to everybody needs to say. I'm here at Kev's house earlier. Okay, right. So you are in Iran Pattaya. I can only assume you're here to see Kevin off. I think Kevin flies out tomorrow, doesn't he?
Very shortly.
Very shortly, yeah. I'm looking at a place out of Pattaya. Any cities you recommend? Well, I've got a whole bunch of places that I've been and done videos off on my website. I would quickly give you the link there. If I go to on location, right, the on location gives you all the locations I've been around the place at. Yeah, so on location. So it's all there. It's on the website. All the places I visited in the last 3 years, but I haven't been too far around, Thailand. I've only sort of been, up to, I think, as far as Prey, up near Chiang Mai. Hua Hin is about as far down south, and Jomtien is probably the furthest east I've actually been. Nakhon Nayok as well. But yes, I do get around, but I'm not a big traveller. But anyway, moving along. So Serena cooking breakfast, and last but not least, there we've got Stephen up there in Chiang Mai, City Life Garden Fair, 2019, and amazing Chiang Mai. I still find his videos quite interesting. I don't know why he doesn't have a bigger channel than he's got. It's he's got an interesting lifestyle, Anyway, that's enough of that. Get that off screen, right? And let me just retune things here. Right. Okay. So tomorrow morning, Kevin is going, and we always wish him all the best. Yes, we all wish Kevin the best. It'll be the same to sort of see him sort of disappear from the land he loves, and he's grown to call home himself. But again. He's going back through Spain and then on his way to England. That's I think that's the public knowledge, isn't it?
I don't know the details, but he's definitely going back to England.
Yeah.
His mother's in Spain, I think.
Yeah, we're all sort of sorry to see him go, and it's we all wish him the best of health, and hopefully he'll get over this latest fiasco in his life, and maybe sort of one day he'll come back. We can only wish for the best for him. Mr. Mitch, back to the UK. Yeah, that's right. He's back to the UK. Okay, so Now I put a couple of links up here and there. What I'm going to do is for each stream that I'm going to do, anything interesting that we're going to talk about, I'm going to actually put in the Thailand news channel on our Discord group. So anybody that's on our Discord channel can probably sort of bring up these articles themselves, right, and preview them so we can all participate together in the discussion. Anyway, the first one we've got, don't want to know, whatever that is. What the hell's that? Okay, new tab. Right, so what we thought, this one here caught my eye a few days ago, published one day ago on the Tiger. And I'll get my big mug out of the way again. Right, the 10 hard truths of living in Thailand as an expat. Or as they read, the 10 hard truths living as an expat in Thailand. Sound like a good one to talk about? What do you reckon?
Yep.
Yeah? I know, you might want to bring the
10
article
hard
up.
truths.
Bring the article up yourself, if you want, on your own web browser there, because there's such a long delay, it'll probably take a while before it comes up. Anyway.
10 hard truths.
It's in the news channel on the Discord.
Okay.
So I put the link up there so you can find it easily.
Yes.
Dom B.
Are there news? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were. Okay. Lucky Luke. Yes. All the best, Kev. We do wish you a safe journey home. Anyway, number one on this list of list of things. Visas can be a pain in the neck. Yeah. There's always going to think. If you really want to sort of check out all the Thai channels, just put in visa problems in your YouTube search, and it's probably the hottest topic to talk about to build your channel up. All the bad news, and as this article explains, and from my own personal experience, although I've only ever had to deal with Bangkok immigration, I am also led to believe that no two immigration officers will actually function the same, and it really comes down to sort of a bit of Russian roulette. But again, these are as I said, these are the challenges that we have to deal with here as an expat. The hard truths, living here, you're never going to get the same experience twice. I think that's another one of the points that it makes. You have plenty of options, but options never quite fit into your line of work or expectations between the non-B visa, retirement visa, education visa, tourist visa, lead visa, smart visa, along with a few other visa runs and trips to your local immigration office. You can usually Farangle, a long-term stay in Thailand. Yes, we know. It used to have nicknames for some of them. Yeah. It really comes down to if you look smart and you look like you're trying, you usually can get yourself a visa or a visa extension. My most recent issue I had was my banking problems. And again, they still let me to stay. They saw I had money to support myself. The issue that they really had was the fact that they just raked me over the coals about it, because I didn't weigh and to say, I'm sorry, I'll make good next time. I wanted to whinge and complain about it. I said, for the last 3 years it's been okay. So what changed? They don't know what changed, right? It's just the rule changed. Right, I should be aware of the rule change. That's the way that they look at it. Why don't you know? It's the rule. We have the rules in front of us, but where do you find these rules published? And every office has a different set of rules for some reason. Right. Anyway, they did let me renew mine, but as I said, I had the hand right out. Sorry, I will make sure I have a Thai bank account for next year, signed, dated, blah blah blah, and then filled out another half a dozen forms, and then bang bang bang. But it just took 3 hours to do that because I was something that wasn't on the checklist. You know, if you've got a checklist and everything works on a checklist, in Bangkok that is specifically, if you check A, B, C, D, E, F, G, right, and get all that stuff ready, and you just have it there, you know, and you look neat and tidy, and you got shirt with collar and long pants, and you got shoes on, they will generally sort of just and away you go. If they can't fill in a specific box, they don't have the personal responsibility to, oh look, it's okay this time, or making it. They have to get approved by somebody senior, and then of course that somebody senior has to then sort of say, well, you know, together we're not going to sort of take, you know, we're not going to lose a day's pay or whatever. I don't know how it works. I'm not going to lose something because I'm making something happen here. Then they will go and get approval from somebody senior, until the fact that it had to go through, I think, 3 or 4 sets of hands before we actually had the managing, what they call police sergeant or whatever he was, the person who actually runs immigration. He actually had to sign off the fact that, yeah, we'll let him go through this time. You know, just took 3 hours. That's not including the wait time in the queue, which was an extra hour and a half. But that's, you know, get the idea. That's Bangkok. Bangkok is probably the worst office, and it's the worst office to renew anything in. This is one of the things we're looking at when we're getting our house. You know, do we get Samon Sakon, or do we get Nakon Paton, which has got, you know, really simple, you know, what they call visa offices compared to Bangkok, and they're much smaller. They again sort of in line with what you get in Pattaya. You know, very simple in and out sort of process. But again, it's because we're, you know, I'm 3 kilometres east of that line in the sand. I have to go to Bangkok, and I can't do anything about it. That's just the way it works. Every visa office will be different. That's really the main point, the takeaway there. The top 10 hard truths living as an expat in Thailand. You call it corruption, they call it business. Yes, you are a guest in a foreign country. Don't forget that. That's it. You are a guest. And I think we all tend to expect, I think we keep on bringing this up as well, we always expect that it should work the same as where we came from. You know, it should be sort of, you know, like all written in English. It should all be acceptable, you know, except corruption, right, and the backhand details. This is the way Thailand has worked for the last, what 500 years. It's just the way it is. You just have to just eat humble pie. You're not going to comment on that one, Stephen.
No, you said it well. You said it all. Well, corruption. I remember many times sitting in a place just talking to various people, and they said, you know, they'll often mention, you know, you'll ask them about certain things. Can they do this? Can they do that? And the truth is that, like, even if you pick a place like Khao San, all the guest houses, all the restaurants, they're all run by mafia directly or indirectly. You know, corruption of sort. It works, but then it doesn't work. You know, it's a pretty tight ship. And now I think with the military junta, I'm not sure how that's changed now. You know, I'm not sure how much they've cracked down on it. I really don't know.
There has been some big inroads into it, but again, it's only top level, and you know, again, the junta itself cracked down on the misalignment processes within their establishment, because they wanted to hold, you know, they wanted to have a democracy, and they wanted to actually have a ruling government and everything else, and even people to say that the system of government we've got, you know, for want of a better word, is a corrupt system anyway, because it's been sort of fashioned in such a way, the fact that they hold the ruling balance of power because of the way they put the people into the Senate. You know, they were hand-picked.
It's in every state, every country. I mean, it's rough. We shouldn't just single out Thailand. Thailand has a, you know, unique way of colluding and corruption and nepotism.
It's just
they have a unique way of doing things. Every country does it.
Yeah, so that's right. Every country does it. Like, it happens in Australia as well. But again, it's just, you know, it's not so in your face. I think because we technologically are further advanced, in a lot of areas than what Thailand is. They know the fact that if you start doing this sort of stuff, it'll soon be plastered all over the media, and this is why Australia is now putting the brakes on free speech on broadcast. It's
There was that bloke recently that got caught for millions and millions of dollars in Australia. He owes 16 million or something, nearly necked himself. I can't remember what that was about.
I think the one that most recently comes to mind is the Papua New Guinea debacle, where the different areas of government in Papua New Guinea were bribed, and that was all exposed. And now the guy that did the exposing, right, he's up in front of charges for breaking national security, context or something like that. No, he was exposing corruption, right? Exposing corruption because it's corruption, right? But now they want to put him in jail because he's telling the truth, right? It is shocking. But again, this is the thing. Thailand will get there as well, but it's going to take another 5 to 10 years before they get to that level. We're sort of seeing it now, like the uptake on in Facebook, for instance. Thais are really taken to Facebook, and outing people publicly. I think there was one article that was come up in the Thai Visa this afternoon of a Russian being threatened at gunpoint in Pattaya. I didn't read the article, but it's not good news, so I don't want to expose the bad news side of Thailand. Except for obviously a discussion piece like this. But yeah, there's going to be more done because of the fact that it's hit the what they call social media scene, right? And this is what they call people losing face, and this is where that's the first step to obviously righting all the corruption and all the wrongdoings. Everybody these days has got a mobile phone with a camera, and that's what's happening. People are just recording shit,
I think it's fair to say that if you're an expat in Thailand, you have no redress for anything that you see that might be corruption. There's no form of redress for foreigners. And if there is, it's not really going to be effective.
Yeah, so
obviously in your home country, there are more institutions to deal with injustices and so forth.
And again, if I caught something on video or on my phone, as I'm recording, I won't put that in a video. I will give that piece of footage to Chanya or to one of Chanya's friends. You want this piece, you want this clip, want to make something of it. That would be my way of dealing with it. Here's the footage, but I'm staying right out of it. I'm not getting involved in any of that sort of stuff. I'm just...
There's an index. The website has an index of the most corrupt to the least corrupt, or vice versa. You know the one? The World Index on Corruption.
Well, you can always link...
I think New Zealand's pretty high up there on the least corrupt. Sweden, Switzerland, but there's probably a website. I'll see if I can find it. Hold on. Can't remember the name of it.
Yeah. As Dallas says, it's only cheating if you get caught. Yeah. Anyway, moving along. Yeah, but every country does it. It just seems like it's almost like that. Again, I keep on using the Wild West technology. This is, it's a westernised country, especially in Bangkok and the our area. It's very much modern, multicultural. Nothing's really a challenge. You got bus services, you got BTS services, you got taxis, you got all the latest mod cons you can probably poke a stick at, right? But again, a lot of Thais are sort of non-technically adept, and they don't realise the fact that the things that they were doing 5 years ago, right? And they got away with. Now that people with mobile phones, they're just recording the stuff that they're still doing the same thing. They don't realise the fact that every move you make, you could be recorded now. This is
99 out of 180, and it gets a score out of 36 out of 100.
Mm-hmm. Mario and B, g'day from Melbourne there. Hello, J Star. Good afternoon. Robert Bennett, Kev is returning to England to see his family, but maybe for other reasons. Hope he comes back. Well, yes, we all do hope Kev comes back. It's just unfortunately his health is at a level he has to seek the palliative care that's required, where he can actually leverage a bit of goodwill amongst his country compatriots, because it's getting just too expensive to get it done here. Blue Zinc, yes, Blue. Good afternoon. He's joined us on the actual vocal there. How are you going today, Blue?
Good.
Good, yeah. Smart
There you go.
politicians these days.
Denmark and New Zealand are perceived as the least corrupt in the world.
Where?
Denmark and New Zealand.
Yeah, so I've heard sort of similar things like that. I just noticed we've got 32 people watching right now. Look at that, eh?
They're right. They are right at the bottom of the earth. Right? So whatever they do is we call it down under, right? So who's going to actually really investigate or check things about them?
Mm-hmm.
It's just
unless you guys from Australia or somewhere nearby, just simply caught the wind of the news and then you just if not they'll be just sitting quietly and nobody knows about it, man. Right?
Yeah. Actually, on the Donald Trump issue, I was before. Okay, who was it? Was it Bloomberg? Michael Bloomberg. He's running for Democrats. He's put himself on the Democrat list, so it could potentially sort of give Trump a bit of a run for his money. About time they put somebody with credibility up in front of it, rather than these bloody Clintons. Anyway, otherwise, if they're going to run Clintons again, God, Jesus Christ, Trump will be guaranteed for a second.
Clinton was the governor of Arkansas. They said they voted him into the presidency to get him out of Arkansas.
Is that what it was it? Oh, yeah. You got to love American politics. Not. Anyway, so go on.
United States ranked 22. Least corrupt. This is just an old index, though.
Yeah.
Probably 2 that's not updated. They're probably more corrupt now. They're 22. Australia's 13. Just to give you a few ideas. But your least corrupt ones are Denmark, New Zealand, Finland, Sweden, Switzerland, Singapore, Norway, Netherlands, Canada. They're your first 9 or so. And then you get Luxembourg, Germany, United Kingdom's 11, Australia's around 13, Iceland 14. I don't know where Thailand is. It's not even on the list. It's just keep going down. Thailand's got problems. Okay.
Jade's telling us she sold her soul today and bought a laptop, or got a laptop. Did you buy one, or you basically the price was your soul? I don't know.
I think she got herself a 16-inch Mac.
Let's just hope she didn't get a Macintosh.
I think she get a Mac, the 16-inch one.
Well, yeah, there's no hope for you now. You sound. I know. I'm still got a bit of this. It's probably another week before it'll completely pass my system. I was just saying that
she got a laptop.
Yeah, I was just saying I did buy myself a nasal flush, right, to do the sinuses. To flush the sinuses. Last time I had this a few months ago, and I still haven't even opened the packet yet. I mean, it's still in the packet. I've got to just get my act together and because it's it's just one of those things. I have sinus issues. Well, the nose like this, you like I said, air's free, but also you pick up all the pollens and the impurities as well. Huh?
Get them removed?
What, the nose? Sorry, I didn't follow that one. Chanya blames me for giving her the cold. Yes, I know she blames me, right? But hopefully a bit of fresh pool activities tomorrow will help flush out those sinuses. But you never know. Maramb, is there much talk in Thailand about the economy? Yeah, I don't tend to talk much about the economy. There's a lot of stuff here. They're easing the FX rate, what they foreign exchange rulings. That's being that the Bank of Thailand or the central bank is talking about releasing the foreign exchange mandate so that Thais have better access to international markets. That's their next move to try to get some of their excess cash out of the country to hopefully lower all these sort of things. It's just unfortunately Thailand's doing pretty good economically right now, except of course they're going backwards in production and they're going backwards in tourism because it's getting too expensive. So,
I think you've got a big nose, Warren.
who?
Hello, I think he thinks your nose is large.
Does he? Yeah, well, there you go. Sort of,
You know what the coffee smells like in Brazil.
Oh, right. Yeah, and unfortunately, it's still a bit blocked.
I did that well, didn't I?
Yeah, so I only need to restore one of my iPads. Okay, I saw a meme there. I don't know. I saw a meme today. Right, this young kid right asked Santa for an iPad for Christmas, and there's this kid holding one of these, like gauzes that goes on your eye. Thanks, Grandma. It was quite funny. Well, I thought it was quite funny. Most people who own an iPad probably won't think it's as funny as I
You
did.
bought him a notebook, but you didn't have a pen.
I don't need a Mac. I have an iPad Pro. Yeah. So when you got I bought an Acer. Okay. 500 gigabyte, 8 gigabyte, 15-inch DVD. I don't know why you put a DVD on them these days. It's a bit of an overkill. Windows 10. Okay, yeah, so that sounds like you bought a half decent machine.
4G. Got to get a 4G.
What? 4G?
4G. Yeah, got to make sure it's 4G.
No, I don't take offence on anything, Dale. You should know me. Anyway, getting on to the hard truths. Number 3, it's been on screen for the last 10 minutes. Thais love paperwork. Oh, God. Seriously, I think there's a fire hazard about to happen in some of these offices. There's so much paperwork, and that was one of the challenges I had when I did my visa run, visa renewal. They went looking for last year's records of when I filed, right? Because as I said, I said to them, I said it was okay last year, and then they went off to look for last year's submission, and they couldn't find it. So exactly why the paperwork is being collected anyway to start with, you've got to ask the question, well, if it's not useful for actually referencing, then what's the point after all, But again, I think we tend to sort of look at the other side of this thing, or I've looked at it from this point of view. Thailand has like an unemployment rate of about 1.5%, the official rate of 1.5%. Half that reason being is they've got so many people in these offices pushing paper from one desk to another. It is ridiculous sometimes.
They wouldn't work if you wound them up.
Well, I think that's the trouble. If you wind them up another way, they actually go backwards.
They go backwards.
They do. But yeah, the amount of paperwork, oh God, it can get ridiculous. In a case, Richard Taylor, right, he was doing some investigations this weekend on this subject, point number 4. Business can be an adventure and very challenging. So you want to give us some feedback on that one, Richard? What was your experience this week on sort of business investigations? He's going to take probably 30 seconds to get himself back on the channel. There he is.
Well, it's interesting. I'll give it that. I talked to 3 different lawyers, got three different answers. So there you go. Welcome to Thailand.
So 3 different lawyers, 3 different answers, and this is obviously setting your investigations into setting up a business down in Phuket, was it, or in Bangkok?
Yeah, I was talking in Phuket, but in Thailand in general. I'm trying to start up an LLC here,
Right.
and yeah, so it's interesting. It's a challenge for Farang to get these things done.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely better if you have a Thai national with you while you're trying to do all this stuff. There's little points back. Take a local with you that you can kind of trust, and have them help you. It'll save you hours and hours of headaches. Trust me.
Yeah, and the language, I suppose, as well.
Yeah, half the papers they handed me, I couldn't read. All the paperwork was in Thai.
Yeah.
So like you were saying earlier, just because you're here, you're trying to come here, don't expect them to cater to you. You're not going to get papers in English. You're not going to get somebody that can speak perfect whatever language you speak. It's not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have to adapt and overcome. So, like doing business from another country here is yeah, it's an adventure.
It's an adventure.
What are you bringing over? 3 businesses in Bitcoin
Uh,
and God, you got going?
Yeah, well, I'm only working at bringing one right now.
guys,
I'm gonna tackle this one at a time.
I just wanted to add something, Richard.
Yeah, go on.
Regarding about the World War II history, right? During those days, Thailand, right, as Siam, they wasn't so-called being conquered or being taken over by the Japanese. They sort of joined them as allies, right? And they became good friends with the Japanese. So they wasn't being invaded during the World War II, and the Japanese leave them alone with their Thai language and their whatsoever. Everything is back to normal. So there you go. So in doing business in Thailand, right? So everything has to be in Thai because it's been so many years. They have been holding on to all this because till now, nobody. I wouldn't say nobody. I would say that no country will try to mess them up their languages or their cultures or whatsoever. Yeah, that's one of those points that I want to add.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, basically Thailand is Thai and it's very Thai focused. Americans have a little bit more leverage in setting up business than probably somebody from Australia, for instance. I think there's special legislation in their democratic charter that Americans get leverage other options that we don't as an
Seems
Australian.
Thailand's bouncing backwards and forwards from China and the US. You know what I mean? They're bouncing back and forth to suit what their needs are. They're not siding with one or the other.
Yeah, there is some, as a U.S. citizen, there is a few things that I can get by with here that a lot of other nationalities
So
can't.
do I. Thanks, Lucy. I needed that. Hello, World War One. I said which was first. World War One or World War Two? Blue Sticks World War Two, Steve. Download this World War One.
You guys really get it all mixed up all in one big lump of spaghetti.
Well, I'm old, but I'm not old enough to remember World War II, let alone World War One.
Yeah.
No, because that day I was reading about some articles about World War II, right, guys? It was caught by my interest that Thailand wasn't really participating on the side of the Americans or the British during those days. They were actually joining force with Japan, which I was shocked. That's why I was keep on reading about the history, the articles, and all that. So from there, it came to me that I knew that I mean, logically speaking, whatever country those days have joined the Japan or the other side of the World War participation, that means you wouldn't get totally changed or being revolutionized in your country or any disrupt changes, like culture, monarchy, or whatsoever program there is, you won't get it changed. So they'll just leave you alone because you're our allies, right? We are friends, right? So why would we want to change you, right? So we'll leave you alone.
Yeah. Good afternoon, Charles from Isan. How you doing, buddy? Okay. Moving along. So business is one of those sort of things. It's not plain sailing. You're going to need a Thai, really to help you. Somebody you can trust in Thailand to help you go through the paperwork. Not just signing away your firstborn child, and you're going to need to sort of get a lot behind you in that sort of area. This one here, point number 5. Now I reckon that they could really sort of solve a lot of their current tourism problems in one quick change. This one here, 2-tier pricing. If they just put a fucking stop to this shit, right, it would automatically sort of, I would think, instantly boost Thailand tourism just by the fact that they're going to treat everybody equal. Right, I think this is one of the things that's been niggling at people for so long. And that's an example, right? This is probably a national park in that photo there. Right, 20 baht for a Thai adult, 10 baht for a Thai child. right? And where it's 200 baht for a foreigner and 100 baht for a child. Really? Why? What is the real point? All you're doing there is just saying to Thailand, you're saying to your foreigners, you have money, we want your money, right? And we've got pretty trees here, right? The foreigners just really can't be bothered with it anymore. They're just not going to these places. It's as simple as that, right? There's so many that you're trying to boost local tourism. You're trying to get people out of the cities and into these places, right? Foreigners are now just saying, get stuffed. Get stuffed. This is my biggest rant of the whole thing. It's got to go. This two-tier pricing, not only in their hospital system now, but it's been going back as far as these parks and other places you go to, right? This is just saying to foreigners, we don't want you here anymore. Well, we just want your money, right? And what sort of message is that? If they just put a can on this two-tier pricing thing, national parks, entertainment venues, and a few other places, and the public hospital system, right? They would get back on track in inviting foreigners back into the country. Right, I don't know why they've allowed it.
1,000% higher for Farang.
Yeah, it can be. It can get up that way. It's at least with the hospital, the public hospital system, it's only about twice as expensive as the Thais. They haven't gone to the 10 times as expensive. But again, so some places you can go, it can be absolutely ludicrous.
It does say there that if you, from time to time, if you have your work permit or local's driver's license, the high price is waived.
Oh yeah, well I find
always.
Most of the time when I'm out and about, as I keep on mentioning this thing here, I find my little Thai ID card, which is my foreigner's ID card. You get this when you get your Tabian Barn. That gets me usually waivers a lot of things, but not for national parks.
They said if you start crying too, that works.
Yeah. But as a national parks, I haven't been able to sort of, swing it on a national park. But pretty much every other place that I've been to with two-tier pricing, it has been...
Nothing worse than watching a grown man cry.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's much more pervasive than simply at the government level throughout Thailand.
Yeah.
This hotel I'm in, for example, I came with a Thai local. She done all the talking. They quoted me $25,000 or 25,000 baht a month.
Mm.
I ended up getting in at 18 because I had a Thai local with me.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good saving.
But again, this is the thing. This is the sort of thing that's going on. It's because it starts at the government level. This is a trickle down, kick in the face for foreigners, right? It's okay for government to do it, so basically the private sector thinks that they can do it as well, right? They can't legally do it, but again, what can you do? Unless it's just got out of hand. This would be the one thing. Yeah.
Play the devil's advocate. There are lots of things where we pay the same as Thais too.
We do, but there's always there is that side of it, and again,
Can't think of any, but
I know it was cost buying that stuff, at the market at the warehouse sale. Like I'm getting the same price as Thais. They're not charging more for that, and it's already 50% discount. So, you do win some and you lose, But again, this sort of thing, this is what's getting foreigners pissed off. This one thing, right? It starts at government level. It trickles down everywhere you go. The foreigners feel, well, our dollar's not worth what it was, last year or the year before, and now they're double whamming it, right? This would fix the problem. This is the one thing. Government just turned to say, let's just can all double tier pricing, make it illegal, right? From December 1, make it all illegal, and you would get instantly. Your tourism sector is recovering. It will be in recovery. Just like that.
They look at it from the point of view, Warren, that in some countries particular, they just say, well, look, and this is your exchange rate for our Thai baht. Okay. Now, some countries like UK, for example, can almost double their money in terms of the Thai baht. So I guess they look at it and say, well, you've got that, so we want a little bit too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Maybe just wants their cut of their pie, right? That's the way it goes. But again, if they said from a government level, let's stop it, right, you would instantly the whole tourism sector would go into instant recovery.
I understand government
Yeah.
hospitals are more expensive for lungs. I mean, I think that's fair because the Thais pay taxes and they want to keep that for Thais.
Yeah, but again, if you want,
I don't know.
if you don't mind
Technology,
if you don't mind the
something.
queues at the government hospitals, it's like it's like government induction in Australia. We've got public health system in Australia, and like I said, my example I always use is my knee arthroscopy I had when I was 28, 29 years old, or whatever age I was, right? I could have waited 3 months and got it done for free, or I could have used my private health cover I had back then, and I could have gone in that weekend to a private hospital, right? What I didn't realise is the fact that it was still going to be out of pocket $4,000, right? Even though I had top level private coverage, right? So I could have it done this weekend, cost me $4,000 on top of my annual hospital fees that I was, hospital insurance, or I could have waited 3 months and got it all done for free. I would have been.
Here's one exception.
It would have been the
to
same
rule.
answer. Sorry, it's an extended cruise ship, but nothing we can do about it. You know.
Exception to the rule. I mean, if you teach English in Thailand, you're going to get double, if not 3 times, the salary of a Thai person. I don't know for foreign workers, how much they pay the Thai staff as opposed to the, do foreign companies pay the Thai staff the minimum wage, or do they pay them the same as foreign workers? There's all these anomalies to think of as well.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but again, actually,
in terms of disposable income, we have to say that on the whole, Thais would have less, even though there's a rising middle class.
yeah. Well, I was talking to one of my subscribers yesterday. He was given 1 week's notice. He had a teaching job here. He was given 1 week's notice. He was just that's it.
Very mercenary.
1 week's notice. That's it. He's out of a job. Thankfully, he's got another job, another teaching job lined up. But he's now
not much security for long. No.
Yeah.
If you have a work permit, they think twice because it costs them so much for the work permit. It costs them more to get rid of you. They lose money actually.
Yeah. So
the
there's
thing
that
is
sort of it.
trying to get a job with a work permit.
Yeah. Well, I don't think you can't really have one without one, but that's another side of the equation
but
as
getting
well.
the company to pay for you, they're less likely to get rid of you because it costs them money then with the government, you see. So they've sort of invested in you, type thing.
So Robert Brunette, does Thailand require a return or an ongoing ticket when you're entering as a tourist? Yeah, if you're coming in on a tourist visa, you need to show a prepaid departure ticket, so saying you are exiting. You've paid for something. It is in your hands. They will want to see your exit out. Right, now that could be a return plane ticket, or it could be you've come in on a plane and you're going to go to Cambodia, and here's your bus ticket already purchased. Right, they actually will not, in Australia, they will not even let you on the plane going out of Australia unless, of course, you've got that ongoing ticket. So that's one of the things to be careful of. Fraser Hall.
Yeah, I had to.
Yeah, go on.
I had to show a ticket out of here. I'm going to Saigon for 3 days
Right.
rather than a return flight to America. So, I just had to show that I was flying out of here by the end of my visa.
Mm-hmm.
They were happy. They didn't care. They don't give a damn where you go. You just got to leave.
Well, I actually had to argue with them when I was coming here, because it said in my book, my book sort of said that I'm going on a retirement visa. There's the visa, retirement visa, which means I'm going to live in Thailand, right? Even at the gate, they queried that, and I said, show them the visa. I'm a retirement visa, and they looked at me up and down and going, okay, and then they would pass. So they would sort of say, where's your return ticket? They don't even know the rules themselves,
See, it's a military. We've got to remember it's a military
Yeah.
junta. I think a lot of us haven't been personally affected by a military junta, and you've got to be bloody careful because they can act on a whim,
Mhm.
and the more you argue, or the more indignant you become, it can turn into a fucking nightmare.
Right, Fraser Hall. My hospital fee today. If you want to just let us know what you're in for. Did he mention what he went in for, or is it too
No.
private?
No.
But it was 10,000 baht. Yeah, the bulk of the cost was the medication, as I needed an urgent attention. The same when I had my kidney stone in January this year. I rocked up there on a Sunday morning, in the car in pain. And I was pretty much immediately, within 30 minutes, I was admitted into the diagnostics room. They whacked the catheter in there. I don't want to go into all the details, but yeah, I think that first visit was 4,100 baht, and out of that was I think there was 2,500 was the medication, because there's some special drugs that they put me on. But then
Pat Thai made an interesting comment. Sorry to interrupt. He
Yeah.
said airlines are responsible. She said, sorry, airlines are responsible for visas now.
Okay,
Can
right.
Can you give us more details, Pat Thai? I mean, what do you mean? I would have thought it'd be. It's all linked back to immigration, wouldn't it? Or just
Well, if you get refused at the gate,
airline.
if you get refused at the gate here and it wasn't picked up at the departure, you can hold the airline responsible for not exercising due diligence, and you can sue the airline for the price of your ticket. I believe that's what she's getting at.
Yeah, I'd like to sort of know a bit more what she means by that.
Yeah, just come on, tell us about. You've got the access to you. Come and say, tell us a bit about that, or just type it out if you want. Immigration
Yeah,
officer
look, it seems.
even googled my hotel when I entered. Yeah, really. They getting that? They getting that stringent? Are they?
Yeah.
They're getting mercenary for sure. Well, no, they are.
Mm-hmm.
They even want a local Thai telephone number on your visa.
It really makes it uninviting to go there, doesn't it?
Richard Sharp, do you report to immigration? Now, this is still one of these up in the air things, right? They can't fully track you, right? If you find yourself going to another province, and if you check into a hotel and they ask for your passport, right, invariably they are doing a TM30, right, you will need to be required to do a TM28. But I believe that requirement is now being waived. If the TM30 is done, the TM28 is being overlooked as a requirement. If you are moving provinces, like if we buy the house in Nakhon Pantom, right, if we move there, right, the day I move into that house, I then need to go to Bangkok Immigration, file a TM28 to say I'm moving province. But the thing is, I don't know whether the thing I'm up in arms. I know I'm moving to Pratam Thani. Do I actually go to Pratam Thani to file a TM28 just to say this is my new immigration office, or do I go to Bangkok? Right, just to say I'm moving because that's my current. This is still a grey area for me as well. But that's it. When that situation comes, I'll tell you all about it. But right now, every time I've left the province, I've never been involved in a TM30, TM28 situation, and we're usually back within 24 to 48 hours anyway.
TM30 song, TM30.
Like tomorrow, I'm going down. I'm spending a night with the hairdressing crew. Right, telling everybody here, there will be no TM30 because it's not required for Thais. And I'll be back the next day. I don't need to do that. Right, I'm basically away for less than 24 hours. So that's the ruling. It's a 24-hour ruling. But yeah, if we were actually staying in a place down in Cha Am, right, that was a hotel or something, and they asked to see my ID, then I would have to do all the bullshit that goes along with that. It's just an inconvenience, but it's part of it. Generally, as a tourist, all you're doing is going from point A to point B. You're checking into hotels. They're doing it all for you, so you don't have to worry. And of course, you don't have to go to immigration any time in your visit here. The only time that you have to worry about it is if you need to go. If you wanted to extend a 30-day, that 30-day visa, visa exempt stamp. If you wanted to extend that the additional 15 days, right, you have to go to immigration. That is when they are going to check the validity of all those places you've stayed at. right, before they issue the extension. If you come in here on a tourist visa for 60 days, or in Australia's point of view, if you come in here for 55 days, Stephen tells me it's 55 days, not 60 days. Then, and if you wanted to extend that 30 days, which is your right as a tourist, the tourist visa can go to 90 days, but you have to get the extension. Again, they are going to do some checking, right? Immigration office is giving you the extension of that visa, right? And they're going to go to check all the numbers. Right, again, if you want to change it from a tourist visa to an OA visa, right, you're going to have to show the fact that you've bought health insurance and all your TM30s line up, Otherwise, they just won't issue to it. That's the bottom line. If you're coming in and going out, that's what they want us to do. They don't want people staying here anymore, or it doesn't look like they want people staying here. They're making it harder for us. They're being more stringent for it, because we're only a small drop in the bucket of the legal border crossers, right? They're trying to stamp out the legal border crossing, right, which is Myanmar, Cambodia, Laos. These people, right, from those countries are coming in. They're taking Thai restaurant jobs. They're taking employment away from Thai people, right? So they want to stop that, and it's so hard to stop it because these people look pretty much Thai, if you know what I mean. We're easy to identify because we don't look Thai. We're just in a catch-all big bucket. That's what we have to deal with.
Airports are quite scary now, I have to say. When you line up at Bangkok, you just don't know what's going to happen, do you?
You just don't know, yeah. But again, if you're a good guy, they do want the good guys to come in, but you've got to be prepared to identify that you're a good guy. So I think Thailand's making it harder for tourists to enjoy them. Yeah, tourists not so much. If you're coming in and going out, right, the only thing you have to contend with is the two-tier pricing, right? The bar girls don't love you, and the value of your dollar, right? Which is my next point, number 6. The hard truths about Thailand: bar girls do not love you.
That's right. Can't eat love or something.
And they love you long time. Sorry, love you long time. That there's a cost to loving you long time. Don't worry. Love you short time too. There is a cost, but they just really don't love you. That's it. Just understand that. You will find probably 1 out of 100, or maybe 1 every 50 that wants to get out of the scene, and as long as you're prepared to take care of them, right, and be the what do you call it, what's the term they use, and be the sugar daddy, right? And you're going to look after them and put them in a house and put a roof over their head and help pay for the sick cow and the grandfather's hospital bills and all that sort of stuff. Then they might stay with you a long time, but as I said, as soon as that part of the agreement disappears, invariably you'll find yourself without a girlfriend. Just wake up to the facts. But then again, what's it cost to have a wife in Australia? What's it cost to have a wife in America? Especially when they take half of everything or more. When it doesn't pan out. We've got to look at it in the same sort of context. If you're a good guy and you're going to take care of your lady, right, in Australia, and you take care of it for the rest of your life, you're going to have, she's going to basically, you're paying for it one way or another. Right here,
spend it all before somebody takes it.
Yeah. In case of the bar girls, again, what's it cost? And I've heard that effectively you might just say, a bar girl, on a long-term basis is going to cost you about 30,000 baht a month, right? That's what's going to cost you. And if you're going to shack up with one and buy a dinner and buy our clothes and buy, money goes to the family and all that sort of stuff, it effectively costs you 30,000 baht a month. And some people are quite happy to do that. And yeah, after a couple of years, they might actually sort of, feel that they don't want to leave you. But as soon as the money dries up, invariably they will leave you, right? It's a hard truth of Thailand. Family comes first, we come second. And again, same here, But I'm prepared. It's she knows the cost of living. She knows what she knows she knows how it works here. But it's a very deep relationship as well. The money is a necessary, is a necessary side, and she knows that I don't pay for any sick cows or anything else. But she does get she does get the money for the rent and for this and for that, to take care of all the, bits and pieces that we need to do as on an ongoing basis. But again, if I didn't pay the rent and didn't pay this and pay, it's not like I'm going to be sort of, having a roof over my head tomorrow either, you got to understand that it's part of the deal you make, but it's damn sight cheaper than what I'd have to deal with in Australia. So I get.
Been to the Philippines, Warren?
No, I haven't. No.
The Blue Sink was saying, and I think a few others there have mentioned it, Mario and B. I see the Philippines as a growth area, and the beaches are beautiful. I think what I've seen, I have never been, but from what I've seen, they are beautiful there. But they're a very is it an easy lifestyle like Thailand? I don't think so. I don't think they've got the infrastructure. I don't think it's clean. I don't think the food is good. But yeah, the beautiful beaches for sure.
Yep, and there's a whole bunch of channels out there. I think they did Frang he's currently staying in Philippines, and he's doing a good series of videos there on the Philippines.
Jeff Carter too.
Jeff Carter's in the Philippines at the moment as well, so you can check out his channel. He's giving us some, more of the touristy sort of side of the Philippines. But there's some good channels out there, and there's also some bad channels as well. Which I think all these Asian countries have the good and the bad, and different people sort of focus on different aspects. That and you got to look at it all.
Yeah, despite all the current woes in Thailand, the sort of everybody's getting upset. I still think it's the best place of the bunch. Still would be hard to beat it if you're living a long time.
Yeah,
I mean, people go on about these other places, but would they really want to live there?
Well, I think one of my subscribers, he lives over there, and one of the things he's quite annoyed with is you can't buy a motorcycle over 150 cc's. I think it was, right?
In Philippines,
in the Philippines.
You can't buy a motorbike for more than 150 cc.
Yeah, basically you can't own a big bike.
Oh.
That's it. That's an established rule. Whether it's 150 cc's or 300 cc's, I can't remember. It was just, I know with the fact that I wouldn't be able to buy my Kawasaki Vulcan over there. That's the bottom line, right? So I couldn't have a bike that I wanted. I'd have to settle with one of these scooters, or or a crutch rocket or something like that, which is okay. But again, you're not travelling the same sort of distances as well. It's not a.
I couldn't handle the food. I couldn't handle the food long term.
I've heard a lot of people have a problem. They have more problems in the Philippines with the food, but again, I don't know what they're eating. So it's they're all stories.
Yeah, it doesn't look that good. Doesn't look that inviting, Warren.
No, well, I have no. My uncle lives there, so and apart from the recent hospital trip he had to do back in Australia, he wouldn't change it for the world. He's got a lovely girl over there. He's 17 years older than me. He's shacked up with a nice Philippine girl, and he loves his life over there. But again, he's also on the Australia pension. Right, he managed to collect the Australia pension. He gets to come back to Australia and leverage the Australian health system. People telling me that he can't do that, but he manages to do it. He was just happy. He went over there and came back over here.
He's in the older group where he's already got it established, I'd say.
Yeah. So again, it's just there's all these different rules and everything else that we've got to deal with. But yeah. Some people say Malaysia. I personally wouldn't go for Malaysia because of
it's too sterile.
The heavy influence of Islam. I basically, any country that has such a high prevalence to an imaginary friend in the sky, right, to govern their way of being, right, is just not a.
Let's not go there, Warren.
It's not a country for me. Right? That's why I don't like America. There's just too many bloody Bible bashers over there. I don't like America either for the same reason. At least the Buddhism, which is 95% Buddhist here, it's not an imaginary friend in the sky. It is a teaching. It's a way of life, right?
Yeah.
It's.
If you bring your teddy bear, you can get through it.
Yeah.
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 That's Stephen Bean, right? Not Mr. Bean. Stephen Bean.
Stephen Bean.
Shut him up, so he just wouldn't stop.
What do you mean? I can talk about that if I want. I'm entitled to my opinion about imaginary friends in the skies. Anyway, so Mario, correct.
Upset the Muslims.
Well, I don't give a bloody damn about the Muslims. They can take their...
Oh, Jesus, what have I done?
They can go and take their freaking damn, pedophile religion and shove it right up their ass.
Oh, God, it's gotten worse. It's gotten worse. Oh, God.
If I lose subscribers, I have tough shit.
No, actually, my opinion is that if this country builds as such as like too how should I put it, like too seriously taking in their religion over the national well-being of the country, right?
Salam alaikum, Muhammad, salam alaikum.
Then that they will pay a price of like they're getting themselves backdated in this world, you know. Yeah, I mean, as in like they are not really progress as the world progresses. They'll be going back into the those medieval times or those
As a whole,
yeah.
I enjoy Thailand very, but the Philippines I enjoyed work environment better in my 2
But
years.
I heard that Philippines, and there's this South thing, right, where there's this Muslim too, and they're creating some kind of a the Southern. They were saying that many guys in my workplace, because I have Philippine colleagues here also, they all warn me about like not to go to the south of Philippines because there's many Muslims believers there. So basically, the southern part is all overrun by the Muslims. So yeah, whoever wants to go to the Philippines should be careful about it. Same as in Thailand also. Thailand, the southern part of Thailand is because it's at they're near the what do you call it, the area around in the Malaysia and at the south of Thailand, right? You know those places near the Suratani and things like that. Yeah. Those are also those places which is. I mean, Warren. I mean, you should know about it because you have seen in the TV news, right? There are people making falsifying bombs, or I mean those homemade bombs or whatever, pipe bombs or whatever you call it. Then they just put it at the government building and try to explode.
Yeah.
They are,
And again, so people are just stupid, right? Do you see these leaders? Do you see the leaders in these bizarre religions? Do you see them themselves strapping bombs to themselves and blowing themselves up in the name of their religion? No, they are mind fucking young kids, right, into a false dichotomy, right, of some bizarre religion, right, and then convincing the fact that they're going to have a better life after their death. Really? Right? God, what a waste of life that is.
Yeah.
But anyway, look, let's moving on. Right, point seven.
Salam alaikum, Muhammad, salam alaikum.
Shut the
Steven looks like really a potential one, you know. He's gonna strap himself with Boca.
Yeah, but that's not how I did it last time, right? This is probably one of the things that's going to really just annoy the shit out of everybody that comes here to stay long term, right? It really can get quite frustrating, right? You do things, immigration rules, negotiating with police, business rules, road rules enforcement, the way you tackle the data, just day-to-day things, such a minor thing, right? I'm used to catching the motorcycle taxi from the 7-Eleven at the top of our street and down to the bottom of the street, right? It's 800 yards to walk, right? I'd just catch a motorcycle taxi for 10 baht, right? What I didn't realise is the fact that after 10 p.m. at night, they actually put the price up to 15 baht, right? So here's me, I got home at about 10:30 on Saturday night, right? Got off the bus, got on a taxi rank just across the other side of the road, and it takes me to my house, and he says 15 baht. I said, but it's 10 baht. It's always 10 baht. No, sort of. So what he used to say?
After midnight.
By Situm 15 baht. So after what? Not by Situm, but something after 10 p.m. I remember I did hear Situm. Sipha baht. So I didn't quite get the full thing he said, but I understood basically what he was saying was the fact that after 10 p.m. it's 15 baht. Like, seriously, but it's always been 10 baht, but it's the first time I've caught the motorcycle taxi after 10 p.m. And, do I argue it? No, here's another $5, but it just pisses you off a bit. It's not the way it was done last time, because you just don't know all the little intricacies of the language and you don't know how to read the signs. Like, I've never taken my little app up on my phone and gone, just read the board. There is a board that tells you all the pricing, but how often do you think about actually reading the board, it's always been 10 baht. That's just a typical example in my position here, but that's not the way I did it last time. It happens all that, again, arguing at the immigration office, the same thing. Last time it was okay to use this bank, but now it's not okay. Well, why don't you tell people? It's just have to get over the fact that, last time it was done that way, this time it was done this way. Just weigh and sort of say, okay, how much does it cost? Again, this would be another thing, get back to point 5, fix these little things that annoy the shit out of the foreigners, and you might find more foreigners coming here, right? But again, it starts at the top level, create a uniform set of rules that everybody can sort of enforce, right? And then
they just don't make us weigh ourselves when we get to the airport.
Why's that?
So they don't charge me extra for the visa.
Oh, right. I don't want us to pick on you, but they sit there.
I got 2 seats.
That's the thing. Like you can be in the queue, and there's somebody 26 stone in front of you when you're in the queue. Right? He gets 20 kilograms allowance or 30 kilograms allowance for the stowaway luggage. Right? I've got 30 kilograms. He's got 30 kilograms, but he's weighing 60 kilograms more than I do. Right, but he still pays the same airfare. What the? Seriously? Anyway.
We get upgraded to business class because we can't fit in the economy seats.
Yeah, fair enough. No, I had one time when I was stuck like that with somebody who almost couldn't fit between the armrests, and God, it was an uncomfortable flight. And I did ask her to be moved somewhere else because it was just uncomfortable.
I had this lady who couldn't walk down the aisle right between the seats. She got jammed.
Yeah.
And then they had all these little lovely hostesses trying to push her out of it.
Well, right.
They were all laughing. It was the funniest thing. I wish I had it on film.
Yeah, somebody asked the question. There's a picture of Mark Weens. There's 2 pictures of Mark Weens here meeting. Pulling the faces. I don't know. Do you remember the one we did at the Seacon Bankade? Then we did the Halloween thing. There was the face that Chanya pulled at the end of that video. Was that worthy of a Mark Wayne's face? I don't know.
Yeah, I can do it pretty well.
You can do it pretty well, can you?
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on.
Cue eyes, roll eyes.
Never say anything to immigration office unless you're asked. Yes. Some Thomas there. Some airlines charge for a second seat for those of us who are overweight. Yeah, that can happen too. I've heard.
My friend told me the best thing you can do is wear a shit-eating grin.
A what?
Shit-eating grin. Whatever situation you're in, just wear a shit-eating grin.
Just be happy. Don't
fake it. In other words.
Oh, okay.
Imagine eating shit and your grins.
Right.
And you just smile at them. Just keep smiling and whine and bowing.
Yeah. Anyway, so apart from the fact, apart from that one there, it's not what you did last time doesn't necessarily mean it'll be the same this time around. That's what we're getting at, and just get used to that's just a Thai way of life. If they fixed it, right, it would make the whole pleasurable stay as a visitor or as a tourist a lot more pleasurable.
A few cigars in their pocket, right? A few cigars in the pocket, a bottle of gin in the back pocket, and give them a slap on the shoulder and throw them a few, Thai baht.
Yeah. Okay, number 8. Moving along. Number 8. Don't lose your cool. And again, this is something that I think Westerners and I myself have had to really bite my tongue on quite a bit. And it's a few times that I just still lose it, especially in traffic.
We've seen it.
Yeah. There's a few times that are on the bikes. What the fuck are you doing? Get off my fucking lane. But
Or
yeah,
when you're walking, or when you're getting a bottleneck and you're walking through, and all the umbrellas you have to bow underneath them.
oh yeah,
And you use a bottleneck.
Losing an eye. Yeah, losing an eye that's one of the things you have to deal with. That's not in this list, but yeah, if you're over 5'5", the chance of losing an eye in a market stall is something you have to take life in your own hands as well. But yeah, don't lose control. That's a big one that I have to agree with. Here's the 5 points. They smile. They will smile in silence whilst you point out that their website said something completely different. Yes.
In other words, you got no chance.
Yeah. They will go and discuss the matter with other staff and come back to you with precisely the same answer they gave you in the first place. Yes, they will listen to your rant and think you are completely insane without actually saying so. Yes. They will simply walk away whilst you are getting all warmed up, and they will get angry. You will never want that to happen. You will come off second best. Jayen.
Jayen.
Keep Jayen and learn Thai. That's not. I think we'll just keep that on there, and I'll have to find this one for the screenshot at the end of this thing. Keep Jayen and learn Thai.
Jayen and the shit-eating grin.
That's right. So what was that? About 1 hour and sort of. Okay, I've got to find that particular section of the photo for my thumbnail later. Yes, number 9. The road toll in Thailand is appalling. Yes, can't agree anything more than that. It is absolutely disgusting. And they kept on coming up with some harebrained ideas. They really do. Exactly how big motorcycles contribute to this high road toll, right? Well, yeah, giving a 17-year-old access to a 1000cc Ducati for his 17th birthday, well, that is just complete irresponsibility, right? Complete irresponsibility. Yeah, they need to put a stop on that. But, here's me, I've been riding for 40 years, right? And yet when this dual licensing thing comes in, I'm going to have to go and set a freaking Thai driving lessons to maintain the license I've had for 40 years. What? What? Really?
I want to be a fly on the wall when you don't pass it.
Yeah, it's one of those. Like I'm dreading the day they bring that in. It's the fact that I tell people if you're going to get if you want a Thai license, get it in your home country first, right?
You want to see Warren lose his temper? Don't pass him and give him a.
But how does somebody like me who's ridden for 40 years contribute to that death toll? Right, I'm a responsible rider, right? I've been driving for the same. Oh, not even. I've been riding for longer than I've been driving. Right, but
yeah, because you put them off. You ride so well, you put everybody off.
Yeah, but no, it's just part of the thing. I'll just take some video of my rides and say, look, there's a 4-hour ride. What have I done wrong?
You swear a bit.
Well, I'll just make sure I cut the swearing out. That's all.
I think you got anger issues.
Was it Robert Burnett? Ed Sweeney is good and agree with Islam as a competitive man. Blah, blah, blah. Razor Halls. I've never arrived with the departure flight. I've never arrived with a departure flight. I'm on tourist at moment.
No, you probably wouldn't.
And I'm transitioning from work permit to a marriage visa and Changwater or CW visa and CW. I don't know. Making things. Changwater making things difficult as I'm married in Singapore. Yeah, well, that's basically, Fraser, you're in a situation there, which as I was referring to before. Every visa has a checklist. What you've got here is something that doesn't fit into that checklist, and they just don't know how to deal with that. It's they are so uneducated, right, with how to interpret the actual ruling, that they need so many people to authenticate and authorise any sort of deviation in this basically, paint by number system. Check boxes that they have to check to sort of say, yeah, we can give it to you. So you're going to have to deal with it, just unfortunately. It won't be easy. A friend of mine had the same thing recently. I haven't actually followed up with him how he actually got around that. But he came in. He was staying in Pattaya, right? He was staying in places in Pattaya. Then he transferred. He got married, and then came to Bangkok. We were staying in Bangkok, right? And then he had to go out of the country, come back in again. It was an absolute nightmare, because basically nothing lined up. I think what his case was this is in the height of the TM30 issue, which was basically, yeah, I was waiting for that, where what he had was the fact that he had TM30 gaps, where they were sort of saying he was here in this holiday for this length of stay, and then another one, but there was a gap of 7 days where he was staying in somebody's house where there was no TM30 filed, and they're sort of saying nothing lines up, right? And you have basically breached the ruling, and they were just giving him all sorts of shit. But again, it's as it. There's some hard truths we have to deal with when we're staying and living here in Thailand, and it's going to, like, everybody's going to have their own story. I've had my own sort of differences of opinion, right? I have to deal with my set of circumstances, right? Interesting enough, at no time I've ever had any issues about the transgender aspect of our relationship, and invariably when that sort of seems to almost be part of the equation, it's that's when they don't want to go any further into the exploration. They just they just weigh and it's okay, they realise what's going on here, they realise that I'm with a transgender, and they don't want to upset a Thai person, right, in any sort of way, shape or form, and that's where I tend to get a bit of a free pass as well. But again, it's just the rules, they just change everywhere.
I got a taxi once from Pattaya to Bangkok, and on the radio, kept saying crab car, crab car, crab car. So me and the taxi driver, we couldn't speak to each other, so we just both saying crab car for about an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And he was in tears he was in tears. I was in tears. We were laughing. We pulled in. We're going crab. We just crap all the way for an hour. That's all we did.
Yeah, the process does need a shitload of attention, I tell you. That was one of my band words, shitload. This is why I'm moving back to Singapore, but we'll still. What you'll probably find, Fraser, is the fact that you'll go out. That's in this person's case. The easiest solution was to leave the country and then come back in after I think he stayed there for 2 or 3 weeks. Came back in, showing all his paperwork, and it all lined up, and then everything was basically plain sailing. It's just the fact that in your case you've got a situation where they just don't know how to deal with the shit, because there's gaps in all the transitioning processes of each different visa. Blue keeps the choice.
I think he misses out some of the paperwork in the Thai consulate, is it?
Yeah. Well, that's what happens. That's all it is. It's just one form missing, one TM30, out of synchronization, right?
Yeah.
They don't have enough photos of how of how long you've been married, like showing photos of the fact that you've been together for 3 years, and it's not a marriage of convenience. All sorts of things. There's a plethora of things that can go wrong, right?
Yeah. Okay.
But anyway.
Thai road death toll. Guess how much in 2019? Guess how much?
Otherwise, 4,500 so far, or something like that, wasn't it?
12,304 people have been registered as dying as accidents and scenes in Thailand.
12,000, is it?
12,000, over 12,000. Academics, of course, this figure only relates to those who die at the scene.
Yeah.
And the actual death toll is far higher when all the data is collated and when victims succumb to their injuries leaving the accident scene. The total annual death toll over recent years is between 21,000 and 24,000, making it one of the worst in the world, currently number 5 in the world, according to the World Health Organization.
Mm-hmm.
On Monday this week alone, 62 people died, bringing November's toll to 144 on just the 4th day of the month. The Daily News runs an ongoing campaign to run awareness. The The Daily News reported that a motorcycle was recently killed outside a chicken rice shop in the southern province of Ranong, north of Phang Na. The lane-changing motorcyclist was hit by a pickup driver who could not brake in time and flung the victim into the back of another pickup.
Hmm.
So there you go. Over 20,000 a year. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
That's right.
But again, like you've got, again, it comes down to a couple of things that I always sort of talk about, which is one, the amount of people riding motorcycles that do not have actually a motorcycle license or have ever done a test. Right? It seems like it's an afterthought on a motorcycle. If they ride around, kids as old as 12 riding motorcycles around the soy, right? And after 3 or 4 years around, running down and getting stuff for mother down at the local, greengrocer or the local, local butcher, just down the street, right? Then they start riding out in the main roads, and then there's bang, and they don't realise they've been riding for so long that they didn't have a license, because the police don't even look at that sort of issue in a local soy, right? And the other sort of side is the police enforcing the law. Like I think there was one of the videos there, I sort of actually mentioned it, on the bike ride part. I'm sitting at a set of lights there. There was 3 people on motorcycles. One had a freaking mobile phone up inside his helmet talking. Other 2 sort of at the sort of lights playing with their phones, right? Riding one-handed with their phones in their hand, right? And there's police in the cubicle across the road. They can plainly see that they're breaking the law. But do you think the police officer is actually going to walk out of his air-conditioned comfort in his cubicle, which is controlling the lights, and walk across the road and find these people? No, that's too inconvenient for a police officer. That's one of the biggest problems they have. The police just don't do their job. Right? If the police actually started to do and enforce the laws that have been written down, the death toll would start to reduce. Right now, people just don't give a damn because the police don't give a damn. Right? The only time that the law comes into it is when you've actually had an accident, right? Trying to determine who pays the bill. Other than that, very rarely do I have yet to see a police vehicle pursuing anybody on the roads. I've yet to see a police motorcycle pursuing anybody with a siren going. I see plenty of ambulances trying to get through traffic. Never seen a police chase or police try to chase somebody down. Right? I've seen a couple of videos of some harebrained stunts in Pattaya through the back streets of Pattaya. I've seen a couple of those videos that have been posted on Facebook, for instance, but I've never personally seen it. How many times?
I kind of like that though.
Yeah. How many times do you see a police car siren in Australia?
Oh, all the time. Well,
Yeah.
not actually. No, not as much as you would think, because it costs money to get them all out there. They're replacing them with cameras and electronics,
But
surveillance.
at least once a week, in my experience,
Yeah, it's gone down a little bit
Yeah.
because, as I say, everything's done electronically now. All the cameras are run by solar power now.
Yeah.
So it's
Well,
very
I have
cheap
to say here-
administer.
I have to say, here in Patong, the police are actually working. They have roadblocks up every day on the main roads, checking motorcycle licenses, checking for
Tourist
helmets.
police or normal police?
Normal police.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have seen the cops going chasing somebody down the road here the other day.
Okay.
So- At least in Patong right now. Like you're saying, they have their little booth thing, and there's like 10 cops there. They're, flagging everybody in and checking all the paperwork and everything.
You see them in the
so-
tourist areas.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, look,
Yeah.
I personally, I'm a bit weird. I don't like seeing them, to be honest. Even here in Australia,
In the
the
U.S.,
less I see
that's
the police, every time I see them, it's a problem. It's never anything. It's not like Christmas.
Yeah, travelling man. Yeah, mobile phone use. It is absolutely ludicrous. I'm watching it on buses now because, like, I'm above. I'm taking a bus in to transport and just watching the cars go past, and like every second car, there's somebody with a bloody mobile phone in their hand. It is. It is.
Oh,
It is
no, why?
rampant.
You're looking down on them from the bus, criticising them now.
It's ridiculous. Oh, you probably don't notice it so much when you're in a car because you're
No,
at
you
you.
don't. I can just imagine you.
Because well, in a car you tend to be sort of driving with the traffic, whereas the bus, oh my god, and the way those buses, the way they cut across 3 lanes to get around it, oh my god, it's just so wonder they don't have
They're
more.
all right.
Yeah.
The buses are good.
Well, they're only about 5 minutes slower than a taxi for the same distance, so that, as I said, it's just cheaper. But yeah, it's the cars. You see more cars passing, and that's well, what you're just looking out the window. You can just see them. The people with the bloody mobile phones usage. It is ridiculous.
I used to enjoy all the chaos in Thailand.
Yeah.
That's what the
Well, that's
what
one of the
do,
magical things as well. Again, it's like the Wild West.
You know,
Right.
be all policed and everything, crosswalks and traffic lights, and let's go back to the old days where everybody's pissed.
Hmm.
I have to laugh. I'll be going down Bangla Road or something, and you'll see a bunch of Farangs standing there waiting for the pedestrian crossing light to change.
Yep.
And it doesn't. It never changes.
No.
So, I just walk up there, and I just walk through traffic and go to the other side.
Christmas
and
decoration.
Yeah, exactly. But it's funny to watch people. They push the button and then they stand there and wait.
Mhm.
And it's like, okay. Have
A lot
fun.
of the times they used to do that in Vietnam. They used to paint a crosswalk and put the traffic lights there. Nobody knew what it was for, but they said, "Oh, they do that in the West, so we might as well do it." Nobody knows why.
Hmm. Yeah. Anyway, the 10 hard truths. The point 10. I don't think this is really a
10.
hard truth. Cues. Yes.
Yes.
There's a lovely photo. I've seen this myself. This photo here. This is just something that is so Thai that it's something you just got to get used to.
Yeah, the shoes.
Nobody wants to stand in the sunlight, so you'll find this queue of shoes.
Either that or they're melted.
But
There used to be people in those shoes. Oh, they're that long they melted.
it is one of the most endearing and funny things when you start to think about it. Yeah, they're just the way they again. I haven't been to too many places like that. But thankfully, immigration they use a ticket number system, so you don't have to put your shoes down. But I believe that if you get it, there are certain immigration officers that don't have undercover and things like that. You can get this. When the immigration office opens at 8 o'clock in the morning, you'll get queues
You know
like
what's
this.
causing the queues, don't you? You know what causes the queues?
Well, they don't open it. They don't open the doors until a certain time.
Yeah, no, but the main reason is because number Thais love paperwork.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah, they love their
That's why
paperwork.
there's queues. All this mindless paperwork, A4 pages. I mean, just to get a simple thing done, you need 5 copies of your passport, 10 photos,
Hmm.
a letter from the Queen. I mean, it just goes on.
It does. It does. Yes.
Letters from the Queen.
Anyway, so that's the end of that particular thing. We've got probably we've got 7 minutes to go, so we'll wrap it up at the o'clock.
33 watching.
Yeah, here's.
We had a lot more than that one time.
so,
So we had 38.
Well, then we're up to 41, 42. Copied the link there, and then we go here, and we
We've got a
paste.
good group here. We've got a good group.
Okay, and this is one I thought I threw it up there as well, but this is something that's coming in that I thought I'd just bring it to everybody's attention that's watching this new plastic bag ruling. And as we were sort of saying before the stream started, it seems to be that there's absolutely zero preparation happening. Basically January 1 is the cut-off date. Right, they are banned from sort of serving plastic bags, but even now, I think it started yesterday. They're talking about it. Who do this?
Just cup your hands now.
7-Eleven.
There's
There's selected stores in Bangkok, and then something 35 or 40 stores in Bangkok have undertaken the trial run. Right, again, like other countries have done this. Where's the preparation? Where's the alternatives? Right? Thais get their food in plastic bags. Right? How are they going to take what are they going to do when they take their phone? How are they going to do that?
They just cup their hands and put it
Well,
out in front.
it's not going to go in like one. They can't put it in a Hessian bag like that girl's carrying there. Seriously, you
They
know.
have
they
to bring their
carry-
own. They have to bring their own Tupperware.
You have to carry a
You
large
bring a big bowl.
bottle.
Like, it'd be a bit like the monks. You just bring a big bowl.
Yeah, it's zero preparation. Great idea. Yes, we need to reduce plastic on the planet. Yes, but where's the alternatives? I was actually going to sort of run up, and most people don't know how. Even changing the structure of the plastic bag to a biodegradable.
Tupperware.
I've got a little video there of actually how they make
But
these bags, but I don't know if that's
You've got to
really
bring your
appropriate.
own bag, Lauren. That's what it boils down to.
Yeah.
Keep all your,
Tupperware.
But where are you going to get your bags
got to
from?
keep all the plastic.
I've been
They'll
looking.
Still have them at the shop.
No,
They'll sell
they're
them
trying to phase them out, right? They don't want this polyethylene bag anymore.
Yeah, but in Australia, right,
Yeah.
they won't put your shit in plastic bag, but they will sell you a plastic bag.
Yeah, well, that's another way. That's another way they're doing
Same
it.
shit, right?
So the double dipping,
Yeah.
double dippy dapping.
Yeah, but
And they sell you a small bag or a big bag. It's 15 cents a bag.
All right.
So $50. So that'll happen in Thailand, probably the same. They'll have the bags there. You'll go in, you'll steal all your shopping, and then you put it on the thing, and then they'll say, "Do you want a bag?" And you say, "No, no."
yeah, but where's the alternative that like, as I said, there are things you can go onto onto AliExpress and you can buy these things. They fit into a small purse sort of shape, and you've got 10 bags, and you can pull one out of your at your leisure, and then you can stuff them all back in this little bag that they come in. They're reusable, sort of nylon-y, sort of string sort of things, or
Just got to take your own, mate. That's all.
yeah.
It's
But
all-
I don't see them anywhere in the shops. These the alternatives that are not there. People are just going to just bite the bullet and pay $5 baht a bag or $1 baht
You
a
bring
bag.
your own Hessian. You just bring, like we do in Australia. You bring your own Hessian bag or your own plastic bag. But as I say, they still sell you the bags. So
Yeah. Anyway, but what I'm getting at is the fact that the Pattaya, they're sort of saying Pattaya is unprepared for the plastic bag ban, right? It's
So bag, bring her.
so the rubbish is getting ridiculous. Just not only plastic bags, it's the plastic bottles and everything else. It really is it's a disgusting situation, and really it's people just don't give a fuck anymore, right? We're into this society that just it's just so much easier
money,
to
money, Lauren. Money. It's all money.
Yeah.
When you cancel out everything like an algebraic equation, it all comes down to one thing: money.
Yeah, like we were out when after the even at the what do you call it, the hot rod show. There was plenty of places they had triple bins for the recycles and the others. Again, putting the right stuff in the right bins. Thais don't know how to do that either. They're just showing it in any of the bins there. But they had clearly defined rubbish, plastic and recyclables. 3 separate bins, and it was just a complete mess. Right.
I wonder what would happen if you're a Falung and you throw something on the ground. I mean, the Thais get away with it. What
Well,
about
I don't.
Falung
That's
if you throw
me personally. I just don't do it. I just think it's reprehensible. Right? I always carry my rubbish with me, find the nearest bin, and put it in the bin.
What about when you're on the river boats? Do you throw all your watermelons?
I take
in
it
the
with
river?
me. I take my rubbish with me.
If I see the Thais doing, I just follow suit.
Yeah, but I don't. Again, it's a personal ethic. I don't have to be under the microscope or the camera. It's just a personal ethic. You just got to have a little bit of integrity in your own lifestyle, and just basically don't do it. Right? That's the end of the story. People just have to grow up and just start to care for the planet. It's the only one we've got at the moment. It's been another 50 years before Musk has another one for us ready.
Mars, yeah.
But that's it. I don't see anybody else sort of looking at Europa or any other possible inhabitable planet. Moons around Saturn and moons around Jupiter, which could also sustain lifestyle. And how do you get there? It's a pipe dream. Right now we've got one planet. Anyway, enough of that rant. Lose a few other subscribers. At least George agrees with me. There we go. Yeah, who agrees with me? We just should take better care of our own planet. It's the only one we've got.
You should do what the monkeys do. monkeys who take care of the planet. They eat everything. That's it. We covered it, Warren.
Planet is a good place to be from. Ties grow up. That's a good one. Ties grow up. Yeah. Anyway, so well, we are wrapping things up. So I think it's been a pretty good stream tonight.
Was a good stream.
Again, thanks to everybody who's joined in.
The thumbs down. I mean, hit the thumbs.
Hit the thumbs up before you all disappear. You know.
Thumbs up, thumbs down. It doesn't matter. It's all good.
A big hello, extra hello for. I'm just waiting. I'm just trying to do a refresh of my page. The 19 thumbs up. Come on, getting more thumbs up. There we go. It's playing an ad for me. I don't know why it's doing that.
Are we finishing up or what?
Yeah, we're finishing up. So for my moderators there, thanks for joining in and helping out with the show, and thanks for to the people on the live stream. This is Blue, there's Stephen, Oggy, and Richard. Thanks for joining in and giving your 2 cents worth on the actual voice channel, and all the regulars that always join in. Thanks for joining in. Where's my tune? We've got the tune there. Where's the volume? Let's crank the volume up. Crank up the volume.